In a move that sent shockwaves through Washington and beyond, former President Donald Trump has announced Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin as his surprise pick to lead the Department of Homeland Security. The decision, which few saw coming, has quickly become the talk of political circles, with analysts scrambling to interpret what it means for the future of the agency and the country. The announcement was made via Trump's favored platform, Truth Social, on March 6, 2026. It comes just weeks after the abrupt and controversial departure of Kristi Noem as DHS Secretary, leaving the department in a state of uncertainty. The timing has only fueled speculation about the administration's next moves and the challenges ahead. Mullin, a staunch Trump ally known for his combative style and unapologetic rhetoric, is set to take over an agency facing immense challenges and scrutiny. His reputation for taking bold stances and his willingness to confront critics head-on have made him a polarizing figure in Congress. Now, he steps into a role that will test his leadership on a national stage. Supporters hail the choice as a bold and decisive move, arguing that Mullin's energy and loyalty to Trump will bring much-needed change to the department. However, critics warn that his lack of experience in homeland security and his confrontational approach could jeopardize national security and further divide an already polarized nation. The rapid timeline Mullin is slated to take over by March 31st underscores both the urgency and the controversy surrounding the decision. With just weeks to prepare, the transition is expected to be fast-paced and closely watched by both supporters and skeptics. The Department of Homeland Security, created in the aftermath of 9/11, oversees everything from border security and immigration enforcement to cybersecurity and disaster response. With threats evolving at home and abroad, this appointment is widely seen as one of the most consequential in the administration, with the potential to reshape the agency's priorities for years to come. As debate intensifies, and the nation waits to see how Mullin will lead, all eyes are on his record, his vision for the department, and what his leadership could ultimately mean for the safety and security of the United States. Markwayne Mullin's journey from plumber to senator is anything but typical. His story is one of grit, ambition, and a willingness to defy expectations at every turn. Born and raised in Oklahoma, Mullin grew up in a working-class family, learning the value of hard work from an early age. At just 20 years old, he took over his family's struggling plumbing business after his father fell ill. Through determination and a hands-on approach, Mullin transformed Mullin Plumbing from a small operation into one of Oklahoma's most successful service companies. He often points to this experience as proof of his real-world leadership and business acumen, arguing that it sets him apart from career politicians. But Mullin's path didn't stop at business. He also stepped into the world of professional mixed martial arts, competing in the ring and embracing the discipline and toughness the sport demands. This chapter of his life helped shape his public image as a fighter, both literally and figuratively, someone who isn't afraid to take on a challenge. In 2012, Mullin entered the political arena, winning a seat in Congress. He quickly built a reputation as a staunch conservative, fiercely loyal to Donald Trump and his policies. Over the next decade, Mullin became known for his outspoken views and willingness to challenge the status quo, culminating in his election to the U.S. Senate in 2022. Mullin's heritage is also a significant part of his identity. As a proud member of the Cherokee Nation, he is one of the few Native Americans serving in Congress. For many in Oklahoma and beyond, his presence in Washington is a source of pride and inspiration, representing a voice for Native communities at the highest levels of government. His outsider image and business success have fueled his rapid political rise, appealing to voters who are frustrated with establishment politics. However, critics argue that his lack of experience in national security and federal law enforcement raises serious questions about his readiness for higher office, especially when it comes to complex issues like homeland security. Skeptics question whether running a plumbing company, no matter how successful, truly prepares someone for the immense responsibilities of overseeing the Department of Homeland Security. They point to the vast differences between managing a business and navigating the intricacies of federal agencies and national threats. This stark divide over Mullin's qualifications and background is at the heart of the ongoing controversy. Supporters see him as a breath of fresh air and a symbol of what's possible in America, while opponents worry about the risks of inexperience in such a critical role. Mullin's nomination has drawn sharp criticism for his lack of national security credentials. Previous DHS leaders brought backgrounds in law enforcement, the the military, or national security law. Mullen's resume stands in stark contrast. Supporters argue his private sector leadership is an asset, but critics say it's inadequate for managing a department of 240,000 employees. The DHS faces threats from cyber attacks, domestic extremism, and border crises, issues demanding specialized expertise. The secretary's role requires not just management but deep knowledge of intelligence and counterterrorism. Critics worry Mullen's confrontational style and inexperience could lead to costly missteps. The concern is that political loyalty is being prioritized over competence at a time of unprecedented threats. The debate over his temperament and qualifications has only intensified as his record comes under scrutiny. In late 2023, a Senate hearing erupted into chaos, and a video of the incident quickly went viral, sparking widespread debate about Senator Markwayne Mullen's temperament and suitability for higher office. The footage, which spread rapidly across social media and news outlets, captured a moment that many say revealed more about Mullen's character than any prepared statement ever could. During a heated and highly publicized exchange with Teamsters President Sean O'Brien, Mullen escalated the situation by challenging O'Brien to a physical fight right there on the Senate floor. He stood up, squared off, and dared O'Brien to, in his own words, "finish it here." The confrontation was tense, with both men exchanging barbs, as the room watched in disbelief. The spectacle only ended when Senator Bernie Sanders, acting as committee chair, forcefully intervened and demanded order, banging his gavel and reminding everyone of the seriousness of the proceedings. Without Sanders' intervention, the situation could have spiraled even further out of control. Rather than expressing regret, Mullen later doubled down on his actions. He publicly challenged O'Brien to a charity MMA fight, telling reporters he was not afraid of biting and would do anything to win. His unapologetic stance only fueled the controversy, drawing even more attention to his combative approach. Political commentators and editorial boards across the country criticized Mullen's behavior, calling it a shocking display of disregard for Senate decorum and a troubling sign of poor judgment. Many argued that such outbursts undermine the dignity of the institution and set a dangerous precedent for future conduct. For those already questioning Mullen's fitness to lead the Department of Homeland Security, this incident has become a glaring red flag. Critics say it suggests a pattern of impulsivity and aggression that is fundamentally incompatible with the demands of one of the nation's most sensitive and high-pressure leadership roles. The head of DHS must exhibit unwavering discipline, sound judgment, and the ability to remain calm under intense pressure. These qualities are essential for managing crises and making decisions that impact national security. As a result, this explosive episode has become a central argument against Mullen's nomination, raising serious questions about whether he possesses the temperament and restraint required for such a critical position. Mullen's confrontational style isn't limited to union leaders. In another viral moment, he clashed with Senator Bernie Sanders during a Surgeon General confirmation hearing, dismissing Sanders' opinion and declaring, "You're part of the problem." His tone was combative, prioritizing personal grievance over respectful debate. Critics say this pattern raises doubts about his ability to collaborate and build consensus, skills essential for leading a massive bureaucracy like DHS. The department requires negotiation and partnership, not just with Congress but across government. Mullen's on-camera outbursts suggest a leader who may struggle with diplomacy and coalition building. For many, these incidents reinforce fears about his temperament and readiness for the role. Mullen's actions during the January 6th Capitol attack have become a flashpoint. He's portrayed himself as a defender of the Capitol, claiming to have confronted rioters. However, widely circulated photos show him taking cover with other lawmakers, leading critics to accuse him of exaggerating his role. More troubling, Mullen later expressed support for pardoning some convicted rioters, despite initially condemning the violence. Opponents argue this reversal shows a willingness to put politics over principle, especially concerning for a potential DHS chief. The department's mission is to prevent domestic terrorism. Critics question how Mullen can lead that effort given his shifting stance. His record on January 6th is seen as inconsistent and politically motivated. This controversy has become central to the debate over his nomination. Mullen would inherit a DHS already in turmoil. The agency faces low morale, pay issues, and leadership instability following Kristi Noem's abrupt firing. Reports of delayed paychecks and widespread dissatisfaction have hampered operational readiness. The department is also under immense pressure from border crises, cyber threats, and domestic extremism. Critics argue that inserting an inexperienced, volatile leader into this environment could worsen the chaos. Instead of steady leadership, they fear Mullen's confrontational style will deepen divisions and dysfunction. The stakes are high. DHS needs stability and expertise to navigate its challenges. Many worry Mullen is the wrong choice at the wrong time. Mullen's nomination marks a pivotal moment for DHS, and possibly a dangerous one. His history of viral confrontations and lack of security experience raise fundamental questions about his fitness for the job. Critics warn that appointing a political loyalist over a seasoned expert could further destabilize an already struggling agency. The department needs a leader who can inspire confidence and manage complex threats, not one prone to division and controversy. Mullen's conflicting statements on January 6th only add to concerns about his judgment and values. For many, this nomination is less about policy and more about the future direction and soul of the Department of Homeland Security. The coming confirmation battle will determine whether DHS moves towards stability or deeper chaos.